Let's see. Unmanned Sky, any word on getting EdgeTX on the Tango 2? No. The EdgeTX, my recollection is that TBS will not make the necessary code available to the developers to let the EdgeTX developers flash EdgeTX directly to the Tango 2 and the Mambo. Instead, what TBS wants to do is TBS will adapt the EdgeTX code, and TBS will distribute their custom version of the EdgeTX code through TBS Agent. The problem with this is that TBS has been very busy with a bunch of things and has not been developing quickly. And as a result, there's been this huge window of time where EdgeTX is not available, and people are using this version of FreedomTX that maybe is missing some features that they wish it had. At the very least, it sucks for users that TBS is the bottleneck. The EdgeTX devs are kicking ass and doing amazing things. And the users of these radios were told when they bought them, God, it must be 2 years now, maybe more. I don't know when the Tango 2 first came out. The users of these radios were told when they bought them, they run FreedomTX today, but they will run EdgeTX later. It just hasn't happened yet. And everybody assumed when that was said, at least I did, I think other people did too, we assumed that that meant that FreedomTX would go away and OpenTX or EdgeTX, which came out of OpenTX, would be flashed to the radios, and TBS would no longer be this bottleneck where we have to wait for them to develop the code and distribute the code. Okay, so first of all, not even that has happened yet. Currently, FreedomTX just is what it is. I don't know when the last time it was updated. I really haven't looked. Maybe it's been updated and I missed it. But as far as I know, TBS is well, let's just look. Let's just look. Let's just look and not talk out our ass. So this is 1,971 commits behind OpenTX 2.3. There are no releases. It's not forked off of EdgeTX. It's forked off of OpenTX. And how do I tell how far behind it is? The last commit, Jesus Christ, the last commit was on June 2020. Well, that's all you need to know. The last commit from this repo was June 2020. People who are experts on GitHub, am I missing something? Does that mean that this hasn't been updated since June 2020? Let's go look. Hang on. I got a better idea. Let's plug in Tango 2.
Welcome to Tango 2.
Thank you.
Switch warning.
Oh, switch warning. You don't say. Okay. Plug her in and let's look. USB agent. Tango 2, FreedomTX, firmware 124. Let's see if we can update. 134. Okay, this is better. Okay, that's out of date. So the last time that there was a commit to their public repo was June 2020. So where is all this code being developed? I don't know. Fine. March 18th, 2022. Still a pretty freaking long time ago. Hasn't had an update since March 2022. How's EdgeTX doing? Don't even look. Let's see. Release notes. A few bug fixes. Release notes. A couple more bug fixes. Small features. Change the startup logo. Fix Mambo telemetry issue. Fix telemetry. Oh, some more bug fixes. So basically, bug fixes. No updates since March. Whereas, if they had opened up the bootloader, the EdgeTX devs could have been developing this code, and the users of this radio would be up to date with the latest, instead of waiting for TBS to do whatever they need to do. I know that TBS has gone through some shit. I know that 2 of their developers lived in Ukraine and were displaced by the war. I know that they moved buildings, and I heard some stories, I don't know if they were true, about the circumstances under which they moved the buildings being disruptive. I'm not trying to say anything negative about TBS, but at the end of the day, if you're a customer who bought this radio with the expectation that you will be able to run OpenTX on it, I would be annoyed that they hadn't made it possible and they don't want people running third-party code is my guess as to why they won't open up the bootloader. But no is the answer. You cannot run EdgeTX on this radio, and you can barely run an up-to-date version of OpenTX because it was last updated on March of 2022, and it's now November. So...